This is Dr. Patrick Hughes from Moffitt Cancer Center here in Chicago, Illinois at the ASCO annual meeting. We're here with Dr. Damon Reed, who has many roles at Moffitt Cancer Center, including working on sarcoma research. He's an internationally recognized leader in sarcoma, as well as pediatrics and the AYA population.
Yes.
So I know that you've been really instrumental in pediatrics research and cancer, and tell us where that is and what's really exciting here at ASCO for that.
ASCO is very exciting, and with many of the hats that you mentioned. I mean, with in pediatrics, I was part of the session planning, and we're really learning how to, as we learn as cancer is so individualized, we're learning how to get more out of each individual patient to learn and move forward. A lot of the abstracts on the pediatric track work with small data sets and just try to how do we move forward? How do we get drugs into cancers that affect dozens of patients a year as opposed to those that affect thousands of patients? And those sorts of lessons also sneak across to sarcoma and other rare cancer, genetics and genetic testing and how we roll that out. This morning there was a fascinating session on circulating tumor DNA where Moffitt was, Dr. Polini was a chair, where we're learning very exciting ways to analyze an individual patient, make a treatment decision, and move forward. But how to really implement that remains a big challenge.
Tell us what's new in the field of sarcoma here at ASCO. And sarcoma is challenging because there's really over 100 kinds of sarcoma,
Yes.
right? So tell us what's new at ASCO here.
Well, the big news this year at ASCO is one of the 4 plenary sessions here. One of the main sessions that will occur on Sunday afternoon is about Ewing sarcoma. And so that was a large study done through Europe called Recur. But it really standardizes and sets the absolute perfect foundation for relapsed Ewing sarcoma and benchmarks for how we're going to move forward in the field. Before, it was a total unknown black box, and so through a careful study over the past decade, they've really unlocked the next steps that we can do. While the trial itself was not a home run, there wasn't too many cures, it is definitely establishing a foundation for which we can add new agents and new strategies.
And what are those agents going to be for recurrent Ewing sarcoma, you think? What areas are they going to be? Immunotherapy, anti-angiogenesis, chemotherapies, what is it going to be?
You know I'm an evolutionary biologist, so it's always all of the above. So I think that what we're going to have to do with Ewing sarcoma specifically, which has a specific genetic change in the tumor that's targetable, is try to see if that can stimulate the immune system. Try to find if we have drugs that can knock down that specific change. And then realize that cancers always kind of get around what we do, so probably in series sequence those kinds of agents. For example, on the Recur study, the most toxic arm, about a quarter of patients came off just for toxicity, was also found to be the most effective. So the clear lesson there is this is effective, but it can't be given forever. So hit and then move on and keep changing the strategies as that cancer continues to change.
Thanks for bringing up evolutionary biology, because evolutionary biology and mathematical oncology is something fairly unique to Moffitt Cancer Center.
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
What it is we like to think of cancer as the same thing over and over again, but it just isn't. Even at diagnosis, it already has a whole range of different cancer cells in it, and we unleash our therapies, and that modulates the cancer. It makes the cancer change, but we select for things that can move on. And so evolutionary therapy is anticipating how our therapies change the cancer, and then more importantly, getting one step ahead of the cancer instead of reacting after it progresses. That's how I think of evolutionary oncology. And it does take mathematicians and ecologists and a huge team, which I think only we have.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Damon Reed, expert in many things, including sarcoma, pediatrics oncology, evolutionary biology, for Moffitt Cancer Center. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. You're a great leader.